Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello. Right. We have how many? Including me, there are 10. Yes. How about the others? It's 7:35. I think you all know that this is our last session, right? So could you please, switch on the cameras? Thank you, Shiromali. Why? Huh? Subhatra, yes, Subhatra, I can't see your face. All right, nice. Thank you, Sashi, Hethyarachi, Shiromali. All right, I can see you, but something maybe you are using the phone, Shiromali. All right, Subhatra, I can see Sisara. Right, Jayakala, Pasma, Mafasa, I can't see you. Mafasa, Nimasha, Kulatunga, Chamodia, right. Hello. Yes, Jayakala. Right, I
Yes.
can see you. Okay, nice to see you all. I saw Subhadra, then Fasma. Fasma, Nimasha. All right, okay, thank you, Subhadra. Chamodi, Lakshani. Yes, Chamodi, Lakshani. Okay. All right, Chamodi, I can see you. Okay, now we have 10. Shall we start? Right, this is our last lesson, as you all know, for this semester, I think. Right, okay. And now you may switch on your cameras and please mute, right? Don't unmute till I ask you to do so. Okay, right. I think you all are ready for the last session. And now you can remember the subject educational philosophy and what we mean by the term education, what we mean by the term philosophy, like that. Right. Yes. And today we have to speak about how those philosophers, ancient and modern era philosophers, how they help us to mold our characters. I mean, through education, right? And how teachers may use those ideas, their ideas, right? And we have to think of, as teachers, how we have to think of our own personal philosophy. Okay, right. Now I'm going to share the PowerPoint presentation. Right. Just give me a minute. Right. Okay. Now I think you all can see my screen, right? Yes. Now, educational philosophy. Actually, this is very important for your life as well, right? An educational philosophy from the ancient era was actually developing, right? It was a continuous process up to now, and it will continue in the future as well. Because new ideas are coming in. That's why we just say the emergence of new ideas. Why? Why do we get new ideas? As a result of the changing nature, right? Changing the social, cultural, and technological landscapes, the change in the social structure, the societies, then culture is changing. And technology, we invent things and then we get new technologies, right? So you can just check the era those people were in this world, right? You can discuss today Karl Marx, Mahatma Gandhi, Maria Montessori, Paulo Freire, Julius Nyerere, right? He's, I think, the latest from 1922 to 1999. Okay, right. Their ideas are important when we study educational philosophy. First, let's discuss Karl Marx. Right. Once you study educational philosophy of Karl Marx, we are going to study his core ideas, the main ideas, and I am just giving you a clue, and you can just explore more for these ideas, how they contributed their ideas to education, right? He emphasized on historical materialism. That means how economic structures help the society to change and people's consciousness, right? The economic structures help us because everywhere the materialism is discussed, and economic structures were there for the development of the society, right? Even now we try to change the system of education. We have to, focus on the country's economy. And then only we are able to change anything in the system of education. So, when you speak about Karl Marx, he is a critic of capitalism. Okay? Please understand that. Right. Then he highlighted the inherent inequalities and alienation within the capitalist systems. In capitalist societies, there were a lot of inequalities, right? No equalities, but there were a lot of inequalities. An alienation may be isolation or the separation from the other groups, right? Some people were aliens due to the materialistic nature of the societies, okay? And this was serious in capitalist systems. The role of education, according to Karl Marx, he criticized the capitalist societies, he criticized capitalism, and he saw education within capitalist societies as supporting or reinforcing existing the class structures, preparing workers for exploitation. That means workers were exploited. Even in our country, maybe in the past, maybe now, or maybe in the future, there are class structures, right? Now, for example, I think you might have studied the class system, different strata in the society, right? We just say upper class people, middle class people, and lower class people. Depending on their class, they get the type of education they deserve, right? At times, some people do not get the privileges, and some others were privileged due to the class disparities. So, he said in those societies, capitalist societies, they were education was reinforcing the class system, right? And his vision for education in a communist society, right? He spoke about the communist society, and education would be a tool for liberation. The freedom should be there through education, right? Fostering critical consciousness. That means the critical thinking to be developed among people, and preparing individuals for a life free from separation, free from alienation and exploitation. He hated actually exploiting people, exploiting some opportunities of the people. Some people were deprived of opportunities, right? So then education should be integrated with productive labor, right? While working, people should gain knowledge. So he wanted to combine the productive labor or the people's hard work with education. So once we speak about the key concepts that he discussed, he actually discussed and criticized the class struggle and the class system, alienation or the separation or isolation of some people, and some ideologies like political ideologies like capitalism, and then revolution. He wanted a revolution through education, right? When you speak about Karl Marx, you have to remember those important ideas about his educational philosophy, right? Now he criticized the prevailing systems, and he wanted people to be equals, right? He wanted equal opportunities, equal education opportunities, and education should be a tool for liberation. Then critical consciousness or the critical thinking should be there, right? And the people should be, maybe we have to prepare people who are free from exploitation. No one should exploit the other, right? Like that. An integration or integrated nature of education, that means education should be integrated with productive labor, means hard work of people, right? That's about Karl Marx. Now, Mahatma Gandhi. What do you think of Mahatma Gandhi? What can you remember about Mahatma Gandhi? I think we discussed a little. Yes, just go through his core ideas. Right. Yes, when we speak about Mahatma Gandhi and his ideas on basic education, I think you can remember uh, the development of three H's. That means head, heart, and hand. The combination of the development of all three. Through education, we have to develop the mind or the intellectual development, that means represented by head, then hand, that means we have to develop their skills, and heart. According to Mahatma Gandhi, we have to develop the person's heart, means their attitudes. So he said that education should be the development of three H's. Again, he also emphasized learning through productive work, right? So, integrating practical skills with intellectual development. Education should be self supporting, right? So, then people have to learn through their work, learn through their productions. The practical skills are to be developed, and intellectual development also there, right? So please remember these ideas on basic education. At the same time, he focused on holistic development. Development of, as I said, the body, mind, and spirit. Just like head, hand, heart, right? Yes. And he said he focused on truth and non-violence, right? Advocated, that means he supported, he emphasized for education that imparts value of truthfulness, non-violence, and social responsibility. Okay? Now, you know the harmonious development means all three should be developed together. We have to think of the person's physical development, right? And then the mental development, and that means the actually he focused on the knowledge and spiritual aspect, the values, right? So those all three should be developed. And he wanted everyone to be truthful. And he emphasized on non-violence. He wanted an ahimsa society, right? He emphasized on an ahimsa society. Ahimsa means non-violence. Non-violent society to be created through education. And he supported the idea that education should impart values of truthfulness. Okay, the value of truthfulness is important. And then social responsibility. People are responsible, right, to the society. Everyone has to think of where he is living, or, yes, he is living, his community, right? That's why everyone should think of their responsibilities. They have to perform well towards the social responsibility. Okay, so then the total development of a person is very important according to Mahatma Gandhi. And education for self-rule. He mentioned the word Swaraj, right? That means he believed education should empower individuals as well as communities for self-governance and independence. So he is one of the philosophers, one of the great personalities in India who struggled towards independence of the country. Right? He wanted to gain independence through education as well. Right? So then education has to empower, make people powerful, give them the due power, right, through education. Why? They have to think of self-governing body and their independence. Those ideas were very important during his era. Okay? And he focused his ideas on Sarvodaya, Swadeshi, and Satyagraha as well as Ahimsa society. Ahimsa means non-violence. Sarvodaya means welfare of all the people. Swadeshi means self-reliance or self-confidence. And Satyagraha means truth force, right? Truth force should be there for maybe they have to achieve their targets. Right. Then Mahatma Gandhi is another important philosopher because he emphasized of the development of body, mind, and spirit, right? And non-violent people should be produced through education, and people should be truthful, right? Make them truthful through education, and people have to understand the social responsibility, right? They also have to understand their responsibilities towards the society, right? And then learning through productive work, right? Learning through productive work. That was important for him. And then developing practical skills, integrating practical skills with intellectual development. That means, as we all know, the cognitive domain is developed with psychomotor domain, right? Integrating practical skills with the intellectual development. Those ideas are very important when we consider Mahatma Gandhi's educational philosophy. Right. Now, Mahatma Gandhi focused on education and Karl Marx focused on education, and you can see a difference. Maria Montessori, she focused on education, that's right. That's preschool education especially, right? Now, she emphasized on child-centered education, right? Because you know, Maria Montessori is a person who wanted to give the child a lot of freedom, but there are limits according to her. And you know, we just say when you were small, also you can now we just say Montessori Lamia, Montessori Anava, like that. Why? The term came from her name. She focused a lot of attention on preschool education. At the same time, he was one of the pioneers of the present day preschools, and he was a lecturer who trained some teachers in the ancient era, I mean in the 1950s 50s, at the very beginning of the 1950s, or sorry, 1940s, I think, some people from Sri Lanka went to India for getting the training, the preschool, as preschool teachers. There were some teachers trained by Maria Montessori. Okay. Then she focused on child-centered education, and she emphasized the inherent potential of the child and the importance of respecting their individual needs and developmental stages. Right. Now, inherent potential, that means the child's abilities, you just say inborn talents, right? So then the child has some skills. Child brings something within him or her. So then we have to develop those skills, right? And then the teacher has to respect their potentials. At the same time, we have to respect their needs, right? The children are different. Their needs will be different. Therefore, we have to respect their individual needs and their developmental stages. Now, when we speak about primary education, we have different developmental stages, right? Before the child coming to primary education, they go for preschool education, right? Primary education at school. And before that, there's a stage called preschool, preschool education. And it is a different developmental stage, right? Now the children from birth to 1 year and then 1 to 2, like that, their developmental stages. I think you learn all these things in your psychology lessons. Hmm? And when we speak about the primary school, there are 3 stages, stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 in the primary grades, like grade 1 and 2. We call that the stage 1. Then 3 and 4, stage 2, grade 5, stage 3. Like that, we have to focus our attention on the child's different developmental stages. Then she wanted a prepared environment for children, right? Creating a learning environment prepared for children will stimulate the child's skills on different aspects, right? And that should be an orderly environment, right? It should be a motivating environment, stimulating environment, and orderly environment. Then we can allow the child for independent exploration. Let the child explore the environment, right? The teacher has to create that learning environment in the classroom. Okay? That should be prepared by the teacher, thinking of the different stages of the child. Okay? Right. Then, sensorial learning, sensory, highlighted the importance of hands-on learning and engaging the senses. Now you all know the 5 senses and then the development of sensory organs of a child and then hands-on activities, right? So then they have to use all 5 senses, right? And we have to give or plan or design different activities for the use of sensory organs by the children, right? So then maybe they can identify, they can observe, they can explore with their own eyes, they can touch and identify different materials, like maybe it is a soft material or it somewhat softer than some other materials like that, and then maybe they identify the colors of flowers, etc., and then the different flowers maybe by the smell, right? So then that is another aspect. Okay, so like that we have to think of hands-on learning activities for developing their sensory organs, right? Using, they are engaging the senses. Okay, yeah. I told you she focused on child-centered education, and she wanted us to give the child enough freedom, but freedom within limits. Okay, because even in the preschool stage, you have to give them the freedom, and they can select whatever the shapes or whatever the materials, they can select the activities, right? But uh, there are persons to guide them, right? Those activities to be well structured, otherwise they won't learn. Okay, there should be different activities, actually well-structured activities. And the environment should be very favorable for them, a supportive environment for them. Okay, right. Then they should give them the freedom. Maybe they are free to engage in activities, they are free to hands-on activities, right? They are free to maybe discuss and select things with their friends, like that. The child should be given the freedom, right? Maria Montessori's key concepts are absorbent mind, sensitive periods, and sensitive periods and auto education. Okay, auto education, that means children learn automatically, according to her. And sensitive periods, the child is very sensitive, right, at times. Then absorbent mind is very important. Yes, every tiny matter will be absorbed by the child's mind. Okay, so you can identify how they react to adults, how they react to adults' activities, adults' behavior. So then they can absorb whatever happening in the society, happening around them. That's why we need to create a favorable environment for the child's development. Right. Next philosopher is Paulo Freire. Right? Yes, please just go through for a while. Everyone, please go through this. Go through this slide. Okay. Right. Now send me to the chat box the important ideas of Paulo Freire. Paulo Freire. Yes. So what is an important idea? Just one important idea about education, right? They are very important because you can easily remember if you yourself send it to our chat box, and then you can focus on that later on. You will be able to elaborate on those ideas, right? Yes. Just explain some of the ideas here. Can anybody do it, or you can just unmute your uh, speakers and then speak out? Yes. Speak up, please. Everything is here. You can see them and just explain what at least one idea. Huh? Seems no one is ready. Okay, let's see. What do we mean by pedagogy of the oppressed? Pedagogy means, what do you mean by the term pedagogy? Yes. You should know by now. I think I just
Method
what
of
is it?
teaching art and method of teaching art and
Teaching
science.
method.
Uh-huh. Okay, method of teaching, art of teaching, and
Method and
Art and
practice of
science.
teaching.
very good.
How to
Yes.
how to teach? What's the activity? What are the activity?
All right. How to teach. Right.
Assess the child evaluation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, teach and yeah, you can just, yeah, that is actually when you focus on teaching, you have to assess and evaluate the child as well. Yes, pedagogy means, the teaching learning process or the practice of teaching. Uh, then here, pedagogy of the oppressed means the marginalized people, right? Then empowering those people through education, through teaching, through the practice was his idea, right? So then the marginalized communities were there in some of the countries, and education was only for the privileged class or the upper class people. And then he wanted to empower marginalized and oppressed communities through education. So, in any country, right, we all know the class system and there are economic disparities and all those things. And some people are maybe the due to the geography, maybe due to the community differences, right? They don't get enough education opportunities, and then he focused on empowering those people, empowering unprivileged people through education. Right. Can anybody tell me what do we mean by the banking concept? That's easy. Just tell me what is banking concept. You deposit money in the bank. Whenever you want, you go there and withdraw. That's true. But what do you mean by the banking concept? Yes.
We input the knowledge for the students, and when the problem is occurring, they can use that input knowledge to solve that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, how is the child? If you just think of banking concept, according to him, the child is active or passive?
Child is being passive.
That's right. Then what does he criticize? Actually, what did he criticize? He criticized traditional education
Yeah, traditional
as a, yes, traditional education as a
banking
banking
concept.
concept, right? Traditional education was like a banking concept. Okay. Why? He accused that knowledge is imparted into passive students, right? This is just like a jug and mug concept, right? And the knowledge is imparted, knowledge is deposited into the passive students. The students, they had to just listen, just gain knowledge, right? Gain knowledge from the teacher. Just like we just go there and deposit money in the bank, everything will be just given to the child, right? But the child is passive, not no active participation there. But problems are posing education or problem solving education is something else. What's that? Through problem posing education, there are problems, those are presented to the child, and the child was expected to think critically and discuss with the others, discuss with friends, and then find a solution. Right? He supported that idea. He just didn't like the traditional way of teaching according to him. He said that traditional education was like just teaching, but the students were passive. That's like depositing money in the bank, but the child is passive. No critical thinking is there, no active participation is there. But he advocated means he supported for problem posing education. Right? Problem posing education must be there according to him. Why? That education encourages persons' critical thinking and discussion or the dialogue, right? They can express their own ideas. They can think critically, they can work accordingly, and then express their own ideas or exchange ideas through different conversations or dialogues, maybe with the students or the teacher, right? That's what we call the student-centered education, right? Then the next one is conscientization. Conscientization. Conscientization is the process, right? Because you know everyone has a conscience. Our consciousness regarding what we are doing, whether you are doing the correct thing or not. Your conscience is important, right? So through this, we can develop learners' critical awareness of their social, political, and economic realities. Right? Now, we have to create an awareness within the child. Right? It is actually not a blind awareness, it is a critical awareness. Right? They can just be critics of oneself, right? They can just think openly about their social realities, how they look at the society, how they behave in the society, whether they behave correctly in the society or not, whether his or her political ideology is correct or not. They can just think of it, right? They can be aware. They should be aware of what's happening around them, right? And the economic situation, their own economic situation, the economic situation of the country. Like that, they have to be aware of these things, the aspects in the society, aspects in their communities, the social, political, and economic aspects of the environment where they are living, right? They also have to think of, develop their knowledge on these aspects, right? Now, the next one, according to Paulo Freire, dialogue and praxis. Praxis means action, okay? Not only we speak, but we have to act accordingly, right? That means we have to discuss with people, we have to express our own ideas, right? And act correctly. So he emphasized the importance of dialogue between teachers and students. Okay, the teacher and student. Now, he criticized the traditional education as a banking concept because it is only a one-way process. Just like what I do here today, and there's a little discussion, I know, and you are actively participation listening. And then I just discuss or just say what I know or what I think that you should learn, right? So within the limited time, we are adults and we can do that. But for children, if I teach like this, it's not suitable, right? All these ideas about school education of the children, not the adults, right? Therefore, the dialogue between the teachers and students are very important. Even I think even with the adult education, our dialogue is very important, right? Our discussions are very important. So he emphasized that the dialogues expressing ideas, that they are very important. And integration of reflection and action, right? Expression and action or praxis is in the learning process. That is also important, right? Integration of the way you think and your actions. They should be integrated. They should go together, right? They are important, right? There are two important things according to him, dialogue and praxis. Dialogue means the discussions or the conversations between the teachers and students. And then the praxis means the action. Action means now you know integration of what you think and your ideas, your reflection with what you do in the learning process. They are important for child's education. According to him, the key concepts are dialogue, praxis, conscientization, liberation, the freedom to the children. That means the empowering the marginalized and oppressed people, right? Give them the liberation, give them the freedom for education, right? Provide them opportunities with education. They are very important. Okay. Right. The last. Julius Nyerere. Now, uh, yes, now go through Julius Nyerere's ideas quickly. Right. Now, please try to remember their co-ideas and what they think about education, what they think about people and the societies, and what should be done through education. All these ideas are very important. Right. Education for self-reliance, like self-confidence, right? Emphasize the need for education to be relevant to the social, economic, and cultural context of Tanzania, right? He emphasized on Tanzania, promoting self-sufficiency and national development as a country, right? Now, why he focused on the need for education? Why do we educate people? Right? We have to educate people regarding something relevant to the development of the nation, right? Social, economic, and cultural aspects. Normally, in a country, we focus on those three: social aspects, economic aspects, and cultural context, right? Think of cultural context in the country Tanzania, right? He focused on Tanzanian context. What happens in Tanzania, right? He wanted to promote, emphasize self-sufficiency in the country and develop as a nation. So the country's development, country should be self-sufficient. That's his idea, yeah? Right? You can easily remember he focused on three aspects of the country. The Tanzania, right? Then social, economic, and cultural context. Right. Socialist education. He promoted or he supported the idea that an education system that fosters a sense of community, cooperation, and social responsibility, aligning with the principles of Ujamaa. Ujamaa means African socialism, right? So, he supported that the sense of community should be there within the people, right? Cooperation should be there. And again, social responsibility, people's responsibility towards the society, aligning with the principles of their socialism, right? So, the education system should make people aware of the community and how they should be cooperative with the people, how they should perform their duties towards the society. That means their responsibilities in relation to the principles of African socialism, right? According to what they expect in the country, right? Because you know now from country to country, the national goals will be different, right? He focused the context of Tanzania, so he wanted to think of that country at the beginning. Then mass education, that means public education, prioritized providing basic education for all citizens to promote literacy and national unity, right? The education, basic education for all citizens, right? And literacy is important, and every country there's a literacy rate. Some countries their rate is very low. In countries like Sri Lanka, the literacy rate is very high, right? So then he prioritized, he gave the prominence to making people literate, to promote literacy, and there should be national unity. Okay, he focused on those two through public examination, public education, right? And another important factor by Julius Nyerere is integration of theory and practice. Integration of theory and practice. He believed that education should combine theoretical knowledge with practical skills relevant to everyday life and national needs. Yeah, everyone know that, right? Everyone knows it because the combining the learned theory with the practice, right? And relevant to everyday life and the needs of the nation. Right. His key concepts are Ujamaa. Ujamaa means they are African socialism and self-reliance, like self-confidence. Then community development. The countries, the nation's development, and lifelong learning as well. Right? He has focused on lifelong learning as well. Please try to remember each person's main ideas on education. Right. Before I discuss the conclusion of this lesson, I want you all to revise what you all have learned so far. Therefore, let's try to answer some questions now. Give me a minute, please. Okay. Right. Can you all see this now? A set of MCQs?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, yeah, I think no need to take down the question, but you can just, oh, right. If you want, just quickly take down or make a picture of the question and mark the correct answer, right? I'll just move it a little bit. You can see 3. Right. Is it too small for you? Too small for you to read?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Let's see. Okay, let's take one by one then. At least 3 questions together. Okay. Let's take 2 questions together. Right, now, try to answer these 2 questions. Try to select the best answer, best option.
Mm.
Take
Follow
2
credit.
minutes. Take 2 minutes. Take down the correct answer. Right. Then question 3 and 4. Are you okay if I move this to 3 and 4?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I think yes, everyone is all right. Okay, let's move 3 and 4. Select the best answer. Right? Okay now? In question 3, you have to select the other one, right? Maria Montessori's idea, prepared environment, and why you have to select what the other one. Right, let's move on to 5 and 6. right? Now 7 and 8. Instills means imparts, right? You can say impart knowledge, give knowledge, right? Impart values. Right? Then 9 and 10. This is about a communist society, right? Earlier it was about a capitalist society. Right. Did you answer all the questions? Have you answered all 10? Yes or no?
And could you show the number 2 question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. Let's go through once again then quickly. Now you can finish number 9 and 10, right?
Yeah, miss.
Yeah, I
9 and 10, okay?
Yes, miss.
Let's see 8, 7. If you want.
Only number 2 question, miss.
Right. Then, yeah, 6, 5.
Done.
Right. 4 and 3.
Done.
Right, 1 and 2. Same thing that we discussed, direct questions. So then it will be easier for you to remember the facts. Okay. Right. I think you answered all 10, and let's see how we can get the answers. I think you saw those answers earlier as well. Can you see the answers now? All right, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, now I think you can see the answers. Check if you have gone wrong or if there's any problem. Right, is there a place where you went wrong? Ah?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Last one is mine wrong. Number 10 is I
No.
selected as A.
What is A?
Uh, I forget the question, but I put it as number A. But answer
Right.
should be the B.
Let's see. Let's see what is there. Individual wealth. No, no, no way. Right. Okay. Yes, let's take, can you all see? All right, now you took down the answers now. Can you all see the answers?
Yes, ma'am.
You can,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay. Then I have to get the questions. Mhm. Yes. Which philosopher criticized traditional education as a banking concept? What is the answer? Yes. Paulo Freire. Can you remember how he discussed the banking concept, it was a traditional method, then he emphasized on what is the other method he emphasized? What is the method he emphasized?
Problem solving.
Yeah, I'll be sharing the PowerPoint later. Okay, no worries. Yes, problem solving, that's right. Problem posing or problem solving method, right, good. Then Mahatma Gandhi's educational philosophy emphasized learning through what?
Work.
Learning through productive work. Can you remember? Hands-on activities, right? Maria Montessori's core ideas include the important
Child-centered. Child-centered.
child-centered education. According to Karl Marx, what was the role of education within capitalist societies? In capitalist societies, he was a critic on that. In capitalist societies, there was the
People
class
to be
system
getting
and
equal opportunity. Equal opportunity.
is that in capitalist societies? In capitalist societies, there was the class system and yes, the no equal opportunities, right? Nyerere. His educational philosophy, education for self-reliance was aligned with African socialism. Remember, Nyerere, the name is an African name and he focused on the context of Tanzania and he focused on social,
economical,
socialism.
cultural development.
Right. Question 6. What's the answer? Person's conscience. The concept of conscientization refers to a critical awareness of their social, political, and economic realities. That means the person has to think of his responsibilities towards or whether he is correct or not. His conscience should think of the social aspect, political and economic aspect of the society. Which philosophers supported, advocated for education that instills values of truthfulness, non-violence, and social responsibility? I think you have to remember that. Once you see the non-violence, who sees the person? Who is the person? Mahatma Gandhi, right? Yes. Maria Montessori's concept of freedom within limits suggests that children should have the freedom to choose activities within
Structured and supportive.
Structured and supportive environment, because there should be the child's freedom. At the same time, the teacher has to guide them properly. Well-structured activities should be there, and the supportive environment should be provided to the child. Here, Karl Marx believed that in a communist society, education would be a tool for. Now you can think of the correct idea through education. In communist society, it is a tool for what? Liberation, fostering critical consciousness. That means the child's freedom for education, enriching critical thinking, critical consciousness. Julius Nyerere prioritized providing basic education for all citizens to promote what? Can't see it here. Let's see. To promote, yes, to promote literacy and what? Promote literacy and
Theory and practice. Integrate theory. And
promote literacy and promote national unity. Right? I told you the literacy level of the country should be developed. It should go up and national unity should be there. Okay? Right. Once I share the PowerPoint presentation, I think you can easily read it and try to remember what we discussed so far. And you have to think of each and every philosopher and their main ideas, right? Let's take the former PowerPoint presentation now. Right. Right. I think now you can remember we discussed the educational philosophy of Karl Marx, Mahatma Gandhi, Maria Montessori, and Paulo Freire, then Julius Nyerere, right? I think you can remember we discussed earlier about 3 people. Can you remember 3 or 4? Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Who are the others? Huh? Can't remember the names at least? Hello, everyone. We
Plato.
discussed Plato, Jean-Jacques Rousseau.
Rousseau.
Who's the other one? The name at least, John Dewey, right? Okay, now here Karl Marx, Mahatma Gandhi, Maria Montessori, Paulo Freire, and Julius Nyerere. Remember those names. Right, now here Karl Marx was a critic of capitalism, means he criticized capitalism, and you know in capitalism there are inequalities. And alienation. Alienation means isolation or separation of the people. Right? And then Mahatma Gandhi's idea, the development of body, mind, and spirit, and then the Ahimsa society or the non-violent society, and truthfulness, right? And then the social responsibility. Okay. Next. Maria Montessori, you can remember the child-centered education, right? And then freedom within limits. Okay. And then the hands-on learning and engaging the senses. That's also important, and create the learning situation, learning environment for children. That's also important. Next, Paulo Freire, right? Now remember, when you mention the term banking concept, you have to remember his name. Here, banking concept versus problem posing education, right? That means he did not like banking concept. He criticized traditional education as a banking concept where the child is passive. Child was actually passive. The knowledge is imparted. Knowledge is just like depositing money in the bank. The knowledge was deposited, but the child's mind was passive, right? And he supported the idea problem posing. Why? Through problem solving, the child's critical thinking will work. And the dialogue between the teacher and the students are important for clarifying things. And not only the dialogue, the child's actions are also important, right? Then Julius Nyerere, once you mention the term, or the name, his context was Tanzania, right? He focused on Tanzanian context. Tanzania's social, economic, and cultural situation, right? There he focused on national development. Okay, and then he wanted the sense of community and cooperation, social responsibility of individuals, and prioritizing providing basic education for all citizens, right? He wanted all citizens to be educated. Remember that. Okay. And why did he want to promote educating all the citizens? Yes, to promote literacy and social unity. And another idea is integration of theory and practice, right? Now, our conclusion. Okay. Right. Go through these ideas, please, quickly. Don't be passive. Your thinking process should be there, right? Otherwise, it will be like depositing money in the bank, right? The banking concept. Read this. now we can understand that these philosophical ideas can actually make us think differently, right? What they have focused on is very important for us as well. So then those educational thoughts can be used for our day-to-day teaching and learning process, right? Actually, they will influence your teaching and learning process. I am asking you to think of a change in your practice every day, right? So then you can make use of these ideas when you are planning and implementing your lessons as well. So once again, if you think of Karl Marx, made us think critically about how society and economic systems shape education and who benefits from education, right? Yes, the society and economic system should actually shape means help the change, help the development of education. Through education also we can develop the society and economic system of a country, right? And the people who are benefited from education. His ideas about inequalities in the capitalist societies, and the potential for education to be a tool for liberation are still relevant, right? Because we can understand there were and there are sometimes maybe due to different reasons, maybe economic reasons, geography, and all that. And the education inequalities are there, right? So then there should be changes in those systems. So the potential, in the future, education should be a tool for liberation. And that is also important and still relevant to us, right? Then Gandhi highlighted the importance of holistic development, the total development of a person, head, heart, and hand, right? And learning through doing, learning by doing, and the role of education in building character, promoting self-reliance and peace, non-violent society. Still, we need that. In our education system, we need non-violent people, right? We are not successful in that. We can't be happy. Whenever you are in your classroom, you have to think of the peaceful environment in the classroom, peace among the students, how they think of each other, how they are violent and non-violent people, both are there. So then you have to maintain non-violence in your classroom, and you can emphasize and you can make the students understand the importance of non-violence. Through them, you can build their characters well, right? Please understand that all these ideas are important in our pedagogy as well. Maria Montessori gave us a deep respect for the child's natural learning abilities and the importance of creating environments that support their independence and sensory exploration. Yes, we give them the freedom. We give the child structured freedom, actually planned freedom, right? We don't let them go astray. Everything is planned, everything is well structured, and let them use their five senses to explore the environment, because it is a very good environment for them. A learning environment is there, and they have to use their sensory organs. They have to look and look carefully and select. Maybe they can select according to the colors, they can select according to the shape, right? And they can touch and tell us the difference between some materials, right? And they can just maybe cut the different shapes, they can paste them, uh, they can just taste something, and then whether it is tasty or whether it's bitter or whether it's sour like that, you can just say whether it's sweet or not. Let them explore. And then the different smelling things, I mean, maybe the flowers or any other smells, let them identify, let them explore, right? Like that, in preschool stage, we have to think a lot about the child's development. For that, we have to create environments for their exploration, for them to explore a lot. Right. Then, Freire, Paulo Freire, he emphasized the power of education to empower the marginalized, underprivileged people, the importance of critical thinking and dialogue, and the need for education to lead to social change. Yes, right? Empower the oppressed people, marginalized people, and the isolated, separated people, right? And then the importance of critical thinking and dialogue between the student and the teacher, student and the student, like that, expressing ideas in the classroom. They are important. And the need for education or the education, the social change through education, right? For the social change, we need education. So education can lead to a social change. That's his idea. So remember, especially about critical thinking and the dialogue in the teaching learning process. Then Julius Nyerere, he showed us how education can be linked to national development, social values, and the importance of providing education for all. Right? So, according to his idea, he wanted everyone to be educated, the literacy rate to be gone up, right? And the national development should be there. The social values are to be imparted or inculcated within the child's mind. So those ideas are important for us even today, right? Therefore, as teachers, we can study all these ideas, and we can't say Freire is the best and Nyerere's ideas are not very important. No, we can get the gist of each and every person's ideas, and we can select the best out of it or whatever relevant to our context, right? Some of the ideas you might think that those ideas are not very relevant to us or not very important to us. But you know, you also have to think critically. Your critical thinking is also, I think, important and has been developed because of these philosophical ideas. Actually, it should have happened, right? And then, as a teacher, you may study maybe educational psychology, then you will identify how the child develops depending on the different stages of his life, right? He goes through different stages and then he gets different experiences, right? And how we have to think of different strategies, methods and methodologies to be used in the classroom depending on the child's level, needs and their interests. And as a teacher, when you study educational measurement and evaluation, now you know how to evaluate them, right? For example, you know we assess. Now, there's something called assessment and evaluation in educational measurement and evaluation. Assessment is an ongoing process within the during the lesson we can have the assessment. Right now during our lesson there were some MCQs and then I asked you to answer. That is an assessment, right? Because that's not a test, right? And then just to make you think, just to make you understand or make you identify the difficult situations or difficult concepts and then make you more familiar with the concepts, right? Like that, that's assessment is ongoing. But evaluation is not during the lesson, but it is at the end of the lesson, right? Now, please remember when you are learning, maybe you learn methodology, right? You learn lesson planning. And as teachers, you all learn these subjects because we expect you to add some change to your lessons day by day. While you are studying all these ideas, your main reason is to get through the exam and then get the certificates and then maybe your promotions and salary increments and all these things. That's true. Every one of us, we need them. Most importantly, we expect you all to be effective teachers. To be an effective teacher, you also have to learn all these concepts, all these theories, and add these theories to your lessons because you will be able to be more effective, right? And then your professional development is also there, right? And the benefit goes to the school children in your school who are learning from them. That's why you will be given study leave, you will be given whatever the course fee or at least half of the course fee for your higher education from the government. All these professional development study courses, right? If you just study them well and get the maximum benefit out of it, and the benefit should also be there to the child, right? Yes, then evaluation should be towards the end of the lesson, right? And you just evaluate, maybe you can evaluate all the aspects, whether you achieve the objective or not, like that, right? Remember, we learn all these subjects. They are called professional area subjects, right? And you have to learn the special area subjects as well, right? But all these subjects are needed to be an all-round teacher and effective teacher, right? These ideas remain their ideas. These philosophical ideas are relevant because enduringly relevant, because there are philosophers from the ancient era, right? We learned the medieval era and the present day, the modern era, but they are relevant to us. They address fundamental questions about the purpose of education, right? The role of the learner. Sometimes, when we discuss the philosophical ideas, you can imagine how your school is, whether it's underprivileged or privileged, and there are marginalized people like that, right? The role of the learner and the teacher, the connection between education and society as well, right? They encourage us to think beyond traditional methods and consider how education can be more equitable, engaging, and transformative. Right? There should be equal opportunities and there should be active learning in the classroom. And you help transform knowledge, right? Your teacher's role is transformative, right? Transformation role is there. So you have to explore all these philosophical works to gain a deeper understanding of their complex and insightful ideas, right? Actually, I can't mention each and every minor idea, or maybe we miss some of the main points because due to because of different reasons, maybe a lack of time, maybe the restrictions from the syllabus, and you are going to study further in the Master of Education and some other study courses. So then, as a teacher, you can explore some more ideas from these people and you can expand your knowledge, right? And develop your personal philosophy as a teacher. We from the very beginning we discussed that every teacher should develop a personal philosophy, right? And then how we have to develop it, and you have to think critically and you have to expand, and the way maybe you shouldn't be narrow-minded. Don't think that these are not very useful, these are only for the examination. No, these are for your professional development. You may think broadly, you may be able to solve problems when we think of those philosophical ideas, right? Like that, try to make use of all these ideas. Okay. Any questions regarding this? All right. Then I think, yeah, don't worry. I'll share the PowerPoint presentation within few minutes. That's also not an easy task. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay. Give me another 2 seconds and I'll be able to give you. Right. Yeah, can you all see question number 14 here? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Question number 14?
Yes, we can
Yes,
see.
yes.
Yeah, okay. Then maybe this is the end of the lesson evaluation. I'm not going to ask you to answer the question now itself, right? But if you get a question like this, for example, now explain Mahatma Gandhi's concept of basic education and its broader aims for individual and societal development. What can you remember
Figura
actually?
44.
Which points that you can focus on? Can you just mention some? Yes. What should you mention about Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy?
Holistic development
Very good. Yes. Holistic development.
and the head, heart, hands.
Yes. Very good. Thank you. Something more than that? Can anybody add to that?
Non-violence,
Very good. Yes.
concept,
Non-violence.
value of truthfulness,
Right.
community,
Uh-huh.
thinking about soul,
Ah,
building
Social
character, promoting self-reliance and peace,
mhm.
social responsibilities.
Right. Yes. Now you know those points, and then you can explain one by one, or just think of the most important ideas put forward by him. And you know his aims for individual and societal development, right? For individual, the person has to learn through, yes, learn through what?
Work.
Work.
Learn
That's
to
right.
work.
Engage in work and then learn. And then there should be the society, ahimsa society, non-violent society should be there, right? Like that, you can focus on both the individual and the society, and you have to explain how he put forward his ideas, something relevant even to our society. And he emphasized on independence. He emphasized on the welfare for all, right? All these ideas based on individual and societal development. Okay, right. This is just an example. Maybe you might get questions of this nature, or maybe something different to that. But the content is almost the same. You have to study the content given in the PowerPoint presentation. So far, there are 6, right? Yes, all these ideas are important, and especially you have to think that why we as teachers should develop a personal philosophy, right? The benefit for the teacher as well as the school and the children in your class, right? Ultimately to the society and the country, achieving the national goals of the country, right? Please remember them. Okay. Is there any questions that you want to ask today?
For me, no, ma'am. It's clear. It's clear.
All clear, ma'am.
All that you want is the PowerPoint presentation, I know. Right, I'm trying to share that, the PowerPoint thing. Till then, you may tell me if there's anything or any problem.
Assignment. What about assignment, madam?
Assignment, still they didn't tell me to prepare an assignment for your group. right? Once they ask me, I'll let you know. Okay,
Okay.
I'll send it to
Okay, ma'am.
you through them. Only thing is, everything is based on this. You all should explore little more regarding all these matters we discussed here so far, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Just check whether you can see what I shared in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, download that.
Madam, I have a humble request from you.
Mafasa, yes.
Madam, last class I couldn't attend the class, so could you please share the presentation also? Last class, 28th of
Last
June.
class means number 5, right?
Yeah, madam. Yeah.
Let's see, it will take some time. Okay, then I'll share that. Others can leave if you want. I wish you all good luck. And then you have to study hard for not only for this subject, for all the subjects, and I'm happy that some of you are from colleges of education, and then you can get the Bachelor of Education degree, and then you can go for higher education further. Right. Okay. Thank you for waiting, and I'll share number 5 for your benefit, and others can leave if you want. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Good
ma'am,
night,
and thank you very
madam. Thank you
much.
for
ma'am.
everything.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. I shared the previous PowerPoint here.
You did it.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. I was looking for that. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Then
Welcome,
others
ma'am.
can get it, the people who were absent.
Thank
All
you very
right. Very nice of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. God bless
Okay.
you.
Welcome. Bye. Bye. I wish you
Bye.
all good luck. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, madam.
Good night.
Night. Night, everyone.